When Meghan Markle tried to present herself as a domestic queen with her infamous pasta moment, the result was nothing short of catastrophic. What was intended as a picture-perfect display of grace and sophistication turned into a full-blown disaster. Reports of her using a contaminated finger to stir, clumps of hair falling into the dish, and a bizarre addition of heavy suet. The stuff used for animal fat recipes left many wondering if this was a serious attempt at cooking or just another staged performance gone wrong. Far from impressing anyone, Meghan's pasta episode only amplified the ongoing narrative that behind her carefully crafted image lies a trail of carelessness, arrogance, and tone-deaf blunders. This moment struck a chord with critics who have long accused Meghan of being more focused on appearances than substance. If she truly wanted to prove her domestic elegance, the first rule would have been hygiene. Instead, her choice to stir food with a finger that appeared unwashed was not only unhygienic but deeply disrespectful to the basic standards any cook should uphold. At a time when public figures are expected to show responsibility and authenticity, Meghan once again chose spectacle over sincerity, and it backfired spectacularly. The imagery of her hair falling into the food was particularly damaging. For an individual who built her brand on glamour, refinement, and the idea of perfect presentation, such a slip shattered the illusion. The sight of loose strands floating in a dish intended for others is not just distasteful, it symbolized her broader inability to maintain control over the very image she tries so desperately to project. Every detail, every camera angle that should have elevated her, instead highlighted her negligence. Adding suet to the pasta only deepened the chaos. Suet, traditionally used in puddings or heavy British recipes, has no place in a delicate pasta dish. It was culinary ignorance at its peak, turning what should have been a simple plate of food into an unpalatable mess. For someone eager to position herself as a lifestyle figure capable of inspiring millions, this wasn't just a small mistake, it was a public embarrassment. It suggested a lack of basic knowledge, a willingness to cut corners, and a disregard for authenticity. Viewers didn't see elegance. They saw pretension collapsing under the weight of reality. Critics argue that this episode wasn't about pasta at all, it was about control. Meghan has often tried to dictate how she is perceived, carefully curating a narrative of sophistication, intelligence, and cultural refinement. Yet time and again the cracks appear. The contaminated finger, the falling hair, the misplaced suet, these weren't accidents in the eyes of her detractors, but metaphors for her entire public journey. No matter how polished the surface, what lies beneath is chaotic. The disaster also resonated because it exposed something viewers rarely forgive: disrespect. Cooking for others is an act of care. To do it sloppily, with disregard for cleanliness and taste, isn't simply a culinary mistake, it's a reflection of attitude. Meghan's critics were quick to point out that her pasta chaos felt less like hospitality and more like performance. And when the performance faltered, what was revealed was not kindness or skill, but ego and carelessness. What should have been a harmless lifestyle demonstration turned into a defining symbol of Meghan Markle's broader struggles with public trust. The pasta disaster is replayed not because of the dish itself, but because it encapsulates what many see as her entire approach: style without substance, ambition without grounding, and spectacle without sincerity. And just like the clumps of hair that reportedly fell into that pot, the stains of this fiasco will not easily be removed from her public reputation. In the end, Meghan's pasta moment was not just a kitchen mishap, it was a cultural revelation. It stripped away the gloss and left behind the reality. A woman so focused on image that she failed to meet the most basic expectations of authenticity. For those still defending her, the chaos might have been dismissed as trivial. But for the wider audience, it was yet another reminder that behind Meghan Markle's carefully staged persona is a pattern of blunders that no amount of PR can season into palatability.